Okay, team. Hi, it's Tina here, and today is February 3rd, and we are doing our team call on time management. And I'm really excited about this call because this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs and Beachbody coaches struggle with, and just people in general. This is such a big, important topic, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of really great tips from top coaches and things I've done and things that will hopefully make your lives easier. So a little bit about time management. I just want you to know that I'm still working on this today. I am by no means a pro, and I'm not going to try to pretend I am. And I've struggled with this topic the entire time that I've been a coach, and I still do. So I want to be very honest with you guys that this is still a work in progress for me. But after talking to a bunch of other top coaches and other people, on my team and different things, I've come a long way, and there's a lot of things that I do now that are life changers and things that I can share with you right away. And that's pretty much what this call is all about. So there's things that I'm doing right now that are making me more efficient and helping me with my time management, and I'm going to share those with you guys today. So also, don't feel like you have to do everything that I'm doing or everything that I do. But if you're feeling stress or anxiety or overwhelmed, like sometimes you're not getting anything done, try these tips, and I think that they might help you. So for the first year of my business, I had no time management skills. And this business is a beautiful thing because we can work on our business on social media. We can work anywhere we want to in the world at any time we want to, right? So that's really freaking cool. That's what's so cool about this business, is that we can do that. When I go on vacations, which everybody knows I love to travel, I love to go on trips. When I go on vacations, I can, anywhere that there's internet access, I can work my business, and that is absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful thing. But if you don't learn to run your social media, then it will absolutely run you. So maybe some of you guys are feeling this way right now. If you feel like social media is taking over your life, this is going to be a great call for you guys. Do you feel like it's dictating you every single day? Is your phone sending you notifications all the time about phone calls, texts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Are there notifications all over your phone and your computer? Because that's exactly what I'm talking about. So when I get all of those notifications all over the place, it's really overwhelming. I get overwhelmed looking at them, and oftentimes, I just don't even know what to do first, right? So, but I love my phone, right? Doesn't everybody love their phone? It helps me do so many different things. But if you let it, it will take up all of your time. So I wanted to talk today about running your social media instead of it running you, okay? And I'm just going to mute the new person that came in. All right, so I want to talk about running your social media instead of it running you, okay? So I'm going to start today about the very, very beginning of your day, okay? So I know everyone here has really different lives. We all are different. And some of you guys are moms, and some of you guys work full-time, some are students, maybe you're a full-time coach, but regardless, I want to talk to you about how we start our day. So how do you start your day? Think about that for a second. So the question is, when we asked a bunch of people on our team, how do you start your day? They responded with a bunch of different answers, but there were some things that were very much in common. And keep in mind that that these responses were me for a very long time. Up until recently, this past year has been like a game changer for me, and things changed. So I want to share this with you. So when we ask people, how do you start your day? What's the very first thing that you do when you get out of bed? People said checking email, logging into Facebook and checking challenge groups, doing social media posts, Facebook, Instagram. That was a very resounding theme, okay? And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and that's I still work on this, okay? But making these changes is a game changer for me, okay? So think about that. We've just had a peaceful, restful night's sleep. right? And we're dreaming about who knows what, big dreams, big things, right? 2015 goals. And then the moment we wake up, what's the first thing that we are inclined to do? We pick up the stupid phone, right? It says, I don't want to say it's stupid because I love my phone too. It helps me do so many great things and it's a game changer, right? But it also is something that can ruin your life. So, so think about that. So if you don't break this habit right now, you're not alone. So, if you're going to start your day on the, if the way that you start your day is how you're going to start your day. So you don't want to start it out on a wrong note. So you're going to start your day, with all the things. If you start your day by getting on your email and checking on your Instagram and all these messages and this and that, you're going to start off your day with all these things that you have to do that day, or all the people you need to help, or all the messages and emails you're supposed to write. So as health and fitness coaches, if you don't take care of you first, if you don't make sure that your health and fitness is a priority, you're not going to be able to help other people. And it's really as simple as that, right? So I want you to break the habit of picking up your phone the first thing in the morning, or logging into social media first thing in the morning, or getting on the internet, period, okay? So you might be like, oh, easier said than done, right? So I'm going to talk to you about this and how we're able to do this. So, so what could we do instead the first thing in the morning to really set the tone for you for the entire day, right? So in the morning, your brain and like the way you think and what's going on in your life, you're like a sponge, okay? So whatever you fill yourself up with in the morning gets sucked into that sponge. So deep in your mind and deep in your thoughts throughout the day. And you might hit speed bumps along the way, right, after that. And things will come up, and that happens in every single person's life, right? And so whatever you put into your mind the very first thing in the morning is really how you're going to set the tone for your day, okay? So if you start your day putting in stress, all those messages and the emails and all the people you need to get back to, that's what's going to come out when you get squeezed or hit those road bumps along the way, okay? But what if instead of doing that, right, which is the first inclination, which is what most people are doing right now that have smartphones and computers and everything. So what if instead of that, we started off our day with a positive note and maybe with personal development? So top coaches in the company, so many of them work on time management a lot, and this topic comes up a lot. And some of them really hit home for me, and this is what I want to share with you. One coach, Jimmy Hayes Nelson, he's a top coach in the company. This is how he starts his day, and I'll share with you how I start my day as well. But his morning routine, he's been in the business, very successful for 7 years, and the first thing he does in the morning is he wakes up, he pops in his headphones, and he listens to personal development in the mornings. So whoever else, whatever else is going on throughout the mornings, or whatever he's doing throughout that morning, he's walking around, he's got his headphones in, he's kind of groggy from his sleep, he mixes up his E&E, he brushes his teeth, he's like half listening to the video, to the audio, half not, because he's tired, and he's getting ready, he's getting his workout clothes on, and it takes him about a half an hour to get his, before he's ready to get his workout in. But guess what? He's then just listened to personal development for that day. And if your workout is the first thing you do in the mornings and is part of your routine, maybe you pop in that personal development right in the morning while you're getting things ready and you're doing things for you. So I just kind of want to pop that idea into your head, okay? So I don't care what kind of personal development this is. Maybe you're religious and you want to connect with the Bible. Maybe you're reading or listening to something. But think about starting your day with personal development, and that will set up your entire day. Okay? So it doesn't matter what happens because you are in control and you started your day off right when you do this, when you set your mind up, when you set the tone for your day. And when those speed bumps come along the way, which happens to everybody, you just deal with it and you move on, and you know how to deal with it, and your temperament is different. So you're in that right mindset to deal with it properly, okay? So just talking about my own personal experience, Audio is absolutely my savior for personal development because I have a hard time reading, as you all know. So I listen to personal development when I'm walking the dog, when I'm driving to a friend's house, when I'm walking or jogging, when I'm cooking dinner. I'm always listening to something, learning something, on a car ride somewhere. I'm always listening to something, okay? Not just taking notes like you guys all should be doing right now. You all should be taking notes on all this because you're going to learn a lot of cool stuff. But I'm listening and I'm constantly filling my brain with positive thoughts, okay? From that personal development, that one personal development, maybe you're like, oh gosh, I should be writing it down and taking notes. But maybe from that one personal development that day, you can take away some golden nugget, and then it's like an aha moment, right? And then all of that time was worth it. That 15 minutes, that 10 minutes you were driving, whatever, something that sets the tone for that day or something that you can take away, then it's all worth it, right? So I want to explain to you guys what I'm doing right now. I've been doing Chalene Johnson's 30-Day Push, but not just doing it through the internet or on audio. I've actually been reading the book. And it's been hard for me to do. And at the same time, it's been amazing for me to do. Okay, so so with Chalene Johnson's 30-Day Push, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. So what I would do is I would put my phone on airplane mode when I'm sleeping, and I've been doing this for a while because I get all types of notifications when I'm sleeping or people texting me in the middle of the night and stuff, right? So who wants that? So I put my phone on airplane mode when I'm sleeping, and then lately, the first thing I do when I wake up is I pick up my 30-Day Push book. I take up my notepad and my notebook, and I start taking notes on my 30-Day Push. Now, this might not be, an hour right there or anything like that, but maybe it's like 15 minutes or it's 30 minutes, and I'm setting my day up right, okay? And my phone's still on airplane mode, by the way, okay? So I don't know what's going on yet in the world because maybe I was going to sleep in 15 extra minutes or 30 extra minutes. It doesn't matter. Whatever was happening before, I can deal with when I wake up. So I don't look at my phone. I don't look at my text messages or emails or Facebook because I need to fill up my bucket for the day. I need to take care of Teeny. I need to take care of myself for the day before I can take care of anybody else or help you guys or help my clients or help anyone, right? I need to take care of me first. So once I fill up my bucket for the day, even just 15, 20, 30 minutes, I can move forward with the rest of my day. So give personal development a try, and this will make a huge difference, okay? So, so basically, let's go back through your routine. So when you wake up, hopefully you're doing some personal development at some point. And so then let's talk about Facebook because everybody here is on Facebook, and that's where we do a lot of our working our business, so it's important. So when you go to Facebook, the first thing that most people want to check is notifications, right? So you guys know what those are, right? Right at the top right-hand corner of your Facebook, there's those little red notifications. And I used to be so guilty of this. And again, I still need to work on this because Max, my husband, he always jokes with me that like when I drive, he'll be like, it's like you're a squirrel. Like you see something and you're like, go towards it, right? And so that's kind of the same thing with Facebook. Like I can easily get sucked in. So I have to consciously decide that I'm not going to do that. Okay. So, maybe the first thing you do is check those notifications, then you get sucked in, right? Or you start scrolling your news feed and you just get more sucked in. And before you know it, 30 minutes pass or maybe an hour passes and you haven't really done much at all with your day. So, I've done that before and it sucks you in. So it's not your fault. Social media is supposed to be a constant distraction. That's what it is. If you're using social media for personal use, that's exactly what social media was made to do, a constant distraction. So we can all get sucked in. But there's a big difference between using social media for personal use and for your business, okay? So it's beautiful that we're able to use social media for our business, but just know that for the things that you used to do with your social media for personal is not what you're going to be doing for your business. And if you do it that way, you can't expect, your business to grow by doing those fun things of just scrolling through your news feed, and then mindless time goes by and you're not doing anything to move your business forward. Again, I did this so much when I was a new coach, and this is why I'm making sure to talk to you guys about this now. So I'm not saying that I never scroll through the news feed or anything like that, but it's just a time waster, and I want to make you guys aware of it now. When you scroll through the news feed, that does not count as working, okay? So there's a big difference between scrolling your news feed and working. So if you're going to your Facebook and scrolling the news feed and looking at your notifications, I want you to stop right now, because you are letting your social media control you, and I want you to control your social media, okay? You're letting Facebook tell you, look here, come here, this person commented on your photo, and this is just noise. So you want to eliminate the noise and stay focused on what you're doing, okay? So if you're looking for, if you don't really know exactly what to do as a coach every single day, there's a coach daily to-do list in our team page, and these are all the things that you need to do every day, and that's like your daily list that you can follow. So if you're like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, I'm just on Facebook all day, follow the daily to-do list. And actually, I think I have an updated one, so I'll add that one into the group today. So let's talk more in depth about this. If you're an Emerald coach and you're working towards Diamond, I can give you a more advanced list for you to do. And so for you to reach out to me, and I'll give you a more advanced list to do, and we'll talk about goals and all that kind of stuff, right? But right now, I really want you guys to just focus on what you're supposed to do every single day as a successful coach. So I guarantee you that checking the red notifications and scrolling your newsfeed is not going to be on that daily to-do list. So stop. You'll get so much more done if you focus and you do not get distracted by these things. So let's talk more. So personal development and audio. There are so many different podcasts like Chalene Johnson, The Chalene Show. I know everyone's a fan of Chalene Johnson. Jim Rohn, he's in network marketing. He's in network marketing and specializes in health and fitness industry. And he has a really soothing voice, kind of like what a grandpa would have. So if you're looking for something like that, like relaxing, he's a great person to listen to. Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins, all of them have podcasts. So tune in and learn something. So there's also a plethora of personal development books in your Coach Online office. So log in and click the Success tab, and you'll be in a world of personal development. And also the National Wake Up Calls, they're also awesome. So listen to them. You can always listen to the playbacks. They're all there archived. So, you can listen there and listen to all the past ones. Maybe there's a topic that relates to your business at this time, and you want to listen in, and you can absolutely do that. So don't let social media control you. You need to use this as a tool to reach more people and to grow your business, and all of that is amazing, and we have that luxury as coaches. But it can also easily become your worst enemy if you do not learn to control it. And this is so important for so many coaches, because you'll get exhausted and burnt out if you do not take control of this now. So there's a few simple changes that you can make that can help you. I'm going to tell you what works for me, and you guys can use some of these or all of these, or try it out for a while and see if this works for you, okay? So number one, I want you to turn off notifications that you don't need to be receiving. So that top number at the very top of your Facebook will have a bunch of notifications. And, what I try to do is I only try to check my notifications once a day. My friend Lauren Kaliski, she only checks hers once a week. Okay, so she'll have like 99 plus, like at the top right-hand corner. She doesn't check her notifications at all. Again, because I joke that I'm a squirrel and I like shiny things. Like I don't know. I don't have that type of willpower. I don't know if I'd ever be able to do that. Okay, so all day, I'm totally fine not checking my notifications, but I still like to check them every day. Okay. So I'll explain more on, why you don't need to check your notifications, because you already see everything that you need to see anyway. So just hang tight. I'll explain more. So also, if you don't I also want to tell you that if you have people that are adding you as friends, you might want to consider adding them all at the same time and sending them a message. So I will also explain that more in detail. So what do I do when I go to Facebook? So I go into all of my groups, and you can make your groups on the favorites on the left-hand side of your page. So you can add things, and you can just add them to your favorites, okay? And if you go bottom to top, you can check on the Facebook groups that are more recent, okay? So for example, I'm running a group right now, and so if I check bottom to top, that's the one that I'm going to be checking the most because I have a bunch of people in that group, okay? So also, you can turn off the notifications in that specific group just by going into a group and selecting turn off notifications, because guess what? On your to-do list is going to be check my groups. So you don't need to see every single notification coming in. If you schedule time every day to go into your group and see what they're posting, then you're fine, right? You don't need to see 20 notifications coming in, right? That's just distracting. Also, your phone. Turn off your phone and turn off all the notifications on your phone. So, then you're getting notifications everywhere, on your computer, on your phone. You're getting push notifications. So you'll see when you go to Facebook, you don't need to be getting Facebook notifications on your phone. So turn those off. And Facebook is saying, come to me, come check me out. But you're going to be on there anyway later that day. You don't need to be walking around and every single time anyone messages you that you have to do it right then, right? So, when Facebook is trying to get you to check out Facebook, you're with your family, you're with your friends, you're working, and one thing I really need to hit home for you guys is whatever you're doing at that moment, be there in that moment, okay? I want you to be present with what you are doing at that moment. So don't let things like social media distract you, okay? So again, this is a huge point to hit home with time management, right? So I had to learn this topic, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because I have so much more that I want to share with you. But when I first started my business, I let social media run me. And it was hurting my relationship with my husband, who's literally my number one priority. And, there's so many different things because I let it consume me, okay? So you really need to, when I'm working, I'm working. And when I'm with him, I'm with him. Okay, I had to learn that the hard way, though. I went through a year of doing both at the same time, and it just doesn't work, right? So, but that doesn't mean that I don't work late certain nights. Like for example, tonight is my late night. Mondays are my late night. So I tell him in advance. But we spend all the other nights together, or I go with girlfriends and he goes with guy friends. So anyway, just want to let you guys know. I have designated late nights, Mondays and Tuesdays, and, I work at other times. So I highly recommend you turn off those notifications, or the ones that you feel comfortable with turning off. But if you can't do that, add it to your to-do list one time a day or a couple times a day to check the notifications, but schedule it, right? Because maybe you're not like Lauren, who can just not check her notifications ever for a week. It makes total sense why you wouldn't need to, because if you're checking your groups and you're on your timeline, you'll see everything that's important. But if you want to check it, schedule it. Don't just scroll your newsfeed, okay? And that's it. And then just scroll really fast and make sure you didn't miss anything. But so you don't need to be checking your notifications all the time. That'll just distract you. Also, I check my timeline. I check with my groups and my timeline, and that shows me everything I need. Also, for my friend requests, people will add me as friends all the time, and I don't just go and add them real quick. I let them sit there for a while because I'm going to send a special message to every single one of those people, and they're all going to be the same. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys what I say. So I add them all at the same time when it's scheduled, right? Because I want to send them a message, and then I want to add them to my contact list and track them and start building a relationship with them, right? Tracking, we talked about tracking, and we all do different ways of tracking, which is for a different call. So then I add my new friends to my contact list at the same time, and I send every single person the same message, and this is what I say. So say I confirm Jessica, for example. I say, hey Jessica, thanks so much for the friend request, smiley face. Are you also into health and fitness? Question mark. And guess what? I copy paste. I send that to the other 12 people that have been waiting to be my friend. Okay? Again, I don't just add creepy people onto my Facebook. Like I literally check them out a little bit. If they're in my target market of the type of person I would like to talk to, then I add them as a friend. If not, if they're like super creepy, weird dude, no way. Not adding him to my Facebook, okay? So I do this all at once. So do you see how much easier it is to do all of that at once and messaging each person the same message and without being distracted? And I can have the beginning conversations for everybody and I'm in that zone. So I hope you guys understand that there's ways of running your business more efficiently, and I'm just giving you these tips. So really break the habit of getting into the red. Facebook has trained us so well to direct us into the way that it wants us to go in those notifications. And so know the difference between doing work and wasting time on social media. And I'm not perfect. I still scroll the news feed, but that is not work time, right? I don't consider that work time. So that's something I do when I'm not working and I want to see everybody's life and check in and be connected. That's fun and that's personal, but that's not work, okay? This is a business, and if you want to treat your business like a business, you have to tune everything else out and focus so that you're in and done with the next thing. Another thing that really helped me, and that I really want to share with you guys, is I want to free you of this, okay? This is something that was so hard for me and new coaches coming in. We all became really good friends, and we all talked about this so many times, and this is why I'm sharing this with you today. Just because social media is 24/7 and people will be messaging you all the time, all days, all nights, whatever time, people are in different time zones, just because they message you at that time does not mean you have to message them right back, okay? Just because someone texts you and text is more urgent does not mean that you have to text them right back, okay? You are not on demand 24/7 just because social media is. Okay, so I want you guys to get that out of your head. So here's what we've learned. So when someone would text me or message me, I felt like I had to respond right then. And as you get out there and you post more about your lifestyle, your healthy lifestyle things going on, you'll get a lot more messages coming in. I guarantee you. People interested, and you're going to get excited, and you should absolutely have those conversations. But just because you're about to go to bed at 10:30 and someone wants to start having a conversation about buying the 21-day fix extreme or something does not mean you have to have that conversation right then, okay? So when I first started, I used to do that. I would stay up really late, getting really excited. Max would be like, I'm going to bed. I'd be like, all right, I got to finish this up. And this happened all the time. It started to happen all the time because a lot of people are on Facebook at night, which is why I have a few late nights. It's not, I like to do Sunday nights for maybe like an hour, although it's only if I'm just relaxing and, whatever. But I try not to work on the weekends. Monday, I try to have a regular work day, and Monday nights and Tuesday nights, I have late nights. I have early mornings, and then Wednesday, it's kind of whatever I drafted up for myself, but I'm into my own groove, okay? And so I'm going to share all of that with you. So just because someone texts you or messages you right then does not mean you have to respond to them right then, okay? So I started to respond to people all the time, and maybe I was out to dinner with someone that was important to me, or my husband, or I knew, this is how I knew it got really bad, you guys, just being honest with you. I knew it got really bad when I was at the gym down the street, and I was on the treadmill, and I'm like running, and I'm literally running, and I'm texting someone back about a challenge pack, like all excited and stuff, and then I turned off the treadmill because I had to finish my conversation because it's getting really intense and awesome, and I was like, what are you doing? You can't even work out because you're like, this phone is taking over your life, right? So do not let that happen to you, okay? So that's new. Well, that's when I knew I had a problem and I needed to fix it, okay? The excitement of this business brings amazing things, and you should absolutely get excited about them, but you have to set boundaries for yourself so that you don't get burnt out, okay? And you'll probably experience burnout. because this is really exciting. And I still do sometimes experience burnout. But then if I have one weekend where I just turn off everything and I don't talk to anyone, I'm rejuvenated again, you know? So you have to figure out what works for you. So just going back, I was so stressed and burnt out at different times with all these different people reaching out to me. My business was growing, and that's a great thing to have a lot of people interested in talking to you, right? So so if it was one person or 10 people reaching out to you, it doesn't matter. I'm freeing you right now of being on demand at the whole time and thinking of yourself as a 24/7 person, okay? You do not have to respond right away. You respond when it's on your to-do list and when it's time for you to respond to messages, okay? So when it's time to respond to message, you can focus on responding to messages, not in between everything else that you're doing. And again, I'm not saying you can't respond to messages on the fly. Sometimes I do it too, but you really can't have that great of a conversation when you're doing that. So don't feel like you have to be 24/7 just because social media is, okay? So that's really a big takeaway I wanted to bring up. People can be constantly reaching out to you all the time. So if you respond within 24 or 48 hours, that's totally okay. They're still going to be interested in that challenge pack. And, you know, don't feel guilty about it. If it's not your time to respond to messages, or you are having time with your significant other or with a friend or with family, and it's just not time that you want to be working, then that's you know, really what you have to be your priority, right? So, and if you respect your time and you value your time, people will respect it too. If you set those boundaries, people will respect that too. And that goes for texts and for messages and emails and everything as well. So if you text or message me, for example, and I don't get back to you right away, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to respond to text message when I get to my to-do list and when it's scheduled to do so. Now, that doesn't mean there's not urgent texts that I respond to, like, you know, maybe my tenants down the street need something because, you know, maybe something happened to the house or there's a plumber needed or something, right? Those are urgent texts that I handle at that moment, right? So that goes into another topic that we're going to talk to in a second here, especially with time management when things don't go the way that you expect them to be. So going back to this topic. So those are the things about social media that I want to go through, and about being free, about being on demand. And when you really start to get control and think of social media as this tool for your business and not this time suck, and when you start to think about how you don't have to respond to everybody just because someone wrote you a message or a text message, it's freeing and you feel so much better. And that stress and that constant feeling like you have to be on, that goes away. And you become more in control of your life and your business, okay? So why? Because this is your business, and you're the girl boss of your own business, or you're the man boss of your own business, and you get to set the rules, right? So you don't have to go around anyone else's rules. And, you know, these are just things that I can recommend to you. But if you're like, Christine, I don't want to run my business like that, then you don't run your business like that. I'm just telling you what works for me and what works for a lot of other people that I've studied. So don't let the stuff stress you out. It does not need to. So if this does stress you out, if this does not stress you out, then doing exactly what you're doing, you obviously don't need any advice. But if you do start to feel that way, like I did the first year, I want you to focus on this, and I want you to find balance and happiness and feel in control of your life and your business, because that's exactly why all of us started to get here in the first place, right? So I just talked really fast, and I just hit two really big topics. But I'm going to talk about one more thing because I really want you guys to understand this whole package deal about all this, okay? So the next thing is my schedule and scheduling your time, okay? So I'm not going to tell you how to schedule your time. You're going to tell me how you're going to schedule your time, okay? But what I'm going to tell you about my time and how I schedule my time, this might help you learn how to schedule your time, okay? And this can be applied to you if you're a full-time coach or a part-time coach or a mom or maybe you're a student or whatever you do, right? This can still be applied to you, okay? So first, I want you to figure out how much time you can dedicate to Beachbody, okay? Just think about that. And it doesn't need to be some massive amount of time. So many of you guys and me, we have super busy lives, And this can be a part-time thing. A lot of us, we start off as a part-time thing and building this up into something bigger for the future, right? So I'm not asking you to put in a whole bunch of hours, but I want you to decide for yourself, how much time can I dedicate to Beachbody and this business? Because what you put in directly relates to what you get out of this business. I've said this so many times. What you put in is what you get out. And if you have more time, I encourage you to add in more time, because that just means you'll move faster and you'll hit your goals faster. And so I just encourage you, not to compare yourself to other coaches on this team, because we all have a unique situation, and you have to find out how this business can work for you in your life, with your situation, with your job, with everything that's going on in your life, right? So sit down and figure out, how much time can you dedicate to this Beachbody, business and this team. So I don't care what your response is. Maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 4 hours. For me, I try to work on my business at least 6 hours every day. Okay? I try to treat my business like a business. And I'm not including weekends, by the way. So there are days I work more than 6 hours. Okay? For example, today, I woke up at 6, and I have a call after this at 9:30 till 10:30. And so for my elite group with Sarah and a bunch of others. And so I'll be working a lot later. I had multiple one-on-one calls today, so I had a lot of things going on, right? So those calls are not counted in my 6 hours, okay, for me, okay, because I'm full-time and this is kind of what I'm dedicating for my business. So I'm going to explain to you what my 6 hours look like. So I work more than 6 hours on some days, and I kind of already told you guys about my Mondays and Tuesday nights, how I work later, and I do try not to work at all on the weekends. However, if, say Max is sleeping in for like a little bit, then I'll like sneak on for like an hour or two real quick, or on a Sunday night, like I like to relax sometimes and kind of just make some images and stuff like that for fun, just creative juices. I feel very creative in the evening. And so even though I don't want to stay up too late on most nights, I do get really creative at night. And so that's like a struggle for me, right? Like I want to get my 7 and 8 hours of sleep. I want to keep on a routine, but I also do enjoy my creativity at night. Okay? So I have a few late nights, but not every single night. And on the other nights, Max knows, my friends know, those are not the nights that I work. Okay? So I only schedule 6 hours into my day because this allows for flexibility for other things that are going to happen in my life, right? So plans often don't happen the way we plan them, right? So I don't even have kids yet, and things pop up all over the place all the time for me, and I'm sure they do for you. So I just have to roll with it. I have to learn to roll with it, right? Just like we all do. But the 6 hours still need to be taken care of every day. And when that's for me to be able to move my business forward, okay? So I have 6 hours scheduled into my day, and this is what I really want to explain to you. Again, everybody is different here, right? And I'm still experimenting with things, but I do know for a fact that this actually does really work for me. So I schedule 6 hours into my day, but it's not like the same thing every single day, right? Because maybe I have a one-on-one call at 2. Maybe I have a client at 3. Maybe I want to meet someone for coffee and lunch, right? And if I have like a really, really, really strict schedule that I follow perfectly, then when I'm not on schedule, I feel like I'm a failure, kind of. Not like I'm a failure, but some people really enjoy that structure, and I don't. But I do know that I need to get my 6 hours accomplished of work that I set for myself every single day, whenever that day is, right? So on the days, maybe, I'll go more into detail about that. So, so let's talk about what the 6 hours are like. So I just kind of explained about how some people like to schedule every little detail in order. For me, every day is different. So maybe I'll see a client, maybe I'll go to a BNI like I did this morning. Maybe I'll meet someone, for a BNI one-to-one. Or maybe I have to run and help out at a different property, that we manage, or something like that, right? So maybe there'll be things that I need to do. What I do try to do consistently is have a good morning routine where I take care of me, okay? I take care of me first. And for me, that looks like personal development, workout, shower, breakfast, and then I start my day, okay? So I also schedule in my one-on-one calls on specific times. You know, I try to have you guys scheduled the same time every single week so that at least that's planned and we don't mess around with like scheduling and all that kind of stuff, right? So like today I had a 1 o'clock call, a 2 o'clock call. I have this call and then I have one at 9:30 tonight. So even though I have these things on my day that are different from all the other days, I still always get my daily to-do list done. Okay, so here's an example of my daily to-do list that I use for 6 hours. So this is going to be really interesting for you guys because I don't know if I've shared this with you before. Okay, I break down my 6 hours by task. And I schedule them kind of loosely, like today, like this Tuesday might be different from last Tuesday's. So it doesn't matter when I do it, but it's scheduled in there maybe the day before or day of when I sit down to look at all my tasks. Okay, so here's what my 6 hours look like. 1 hour, I do my personal development for the day. Okay, now maybe this is like reading 15 minutes of push in the morning or 30 minutes of push in the morning, or like today I took a bath before this call and it was like heavenly, and I read push for 45 minutes and it was amazing. Or maybe to get ready for this call, I watched a bunch of different videos so that I could provide for you guys a very organized list of things that I wanted to talk about, and that was part of my personal development for the day, okay? So 1 hour personal development a day. 2 hours, what do I do for 2 hours? I follow up with messages, I have new conversations, I answer text messages and emails, and I build relationships for 2 hours a day. Because guess what? That moves my business forward. Okay? 1 hour I have for projects. Okay? And this is, I had to set this at something because these projects just hang over my head all the time. All these things I'm supposed to be doing, right? So if I'm like, okay, 1 hour, what's on your priority list? Like 1 hour. And I say hang over my head like it's a bad thing. These are all fun, awesome things that I want to do, but like I'm not sure when I'm supposed to do them, right? So if I dedicate 1 hour a day, then I can like tick through all these things. So projects, here's an example of my projects. I have a list of projects I work on every day, like building my newsletter, working on my website, adding text to my website, designing a logo, hiring a photographer, a bunch of different projects that I'm doing for my business that are fun, but that really could take a time suck. Like I could do that all day long, and then I'm not doing all the other things for my business that I'm supposed to be doing, right? So 1 hour a day, I work on my to-do list, right? And this could be so many different things. And this is, for me, this is mostly business related. But I say that, but like I crank through a bunch of things. So if I list out my to-do list of like what I'm supposed to do, I can crank through it and just get it out of the way, okay? But I'm not doing laundry during this to-do list, if that makes sense. I'm doing all the things that I need to do to help me with my business. So for example, on my to-do list, this week, again, different from last week, right? Because different things are coming out. So on my to-do list for this week, I had make a 21-day fix post for the day. You know, set up an auto mailer for my leads. Create an image for my Instagram post and Facebook post, etc. Right? Because again, I can get sucked into making an image for hours. And then guess what? I haven't done all the other stuff I was supposed to be doing. Okay? So 1 hour for that. And then 1 hour a day, I check in with you guys, my team page, and my groups that are going on. And so those are all, that's kind of what I do for my 6 hours a day. Okay? So, and maybe your project is pre-scheduling all your posts for your challenge group, you know, whatever. So list out your tasks and list out how much time you're going to be able to dedicate on that a day. And that's how you figure that out. Okay? Just like I did. So I've been setting timers for my tasks too. Like maybe I'll do a 30-minute task. I'll check in and do what I need to do. Maybe I'll do it all for an hour. Or maybe I'll do it for 30 minutes because sometimes I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to be doing for an hour, right? So maybe I'll do for 30 minutes and then I'll do something else for 30 minutes, okay? But what I'm not doing is checking Facebook 5 times, you know, every minute because that's just a waste of time and that's a time suck, okay? So try scheduling your time in blocks and think about the activities that you need to be doing, and then schedule that time. So what does this do? This eliminates stress. It keeps you on task. And the other times I feel like I'm doing things that are not scheduled at the exact time, I can do them. So when I have very specific schedules and blocks, like when I had, like, I tried, again, this is why you guys need to try different stuff. I tried following like a specific structured schedule where I was like, wake up at 7 a.m. and working out 7:30 and done by 8, not 8:15. And then you're going to have breakfast at this time and it's already pre-made and all this kind of stuff, right? But I wasn't able to do that. And that would cause me stress and make me feel like I wasn't successful, or why can't I do that, right? And then I realized maybe that's not really what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I have my own business because I want more flexibility. So why am I forcing myself to have this structure that doesn't work for me? But maybe it does for you. Maybe you're an organized person that really works for. And so that's why, figure out stuff that works for you. You don't have to run it the way that I run it. I'm just opening your eyes to different ways of thinking. Okay. So for me, that caused more stress and it wasn't really that fun. Whereas here, now I know what I'm supposed to do every single day and how much time I'm going to dedicate. And then I just pick the times that I'm going to do that in every single day. Okay. So a 6-hour time block works well for me. I get so much more done than I've ever done before. I feel great about it because I feel like I'm successful at it. And when you're doing things like projects and to-do lists and personal development, I don't want you to get distracted by social media and your phone. I want you to focus on the task at hand. When you're with your significant other or when you're with your friend, focus on that relationship because those are so important, okay? Focus on whatever you're doing at that moment, not on all the other stuff. Anytime I'm doing something not related to social media, I've been putting my phone away and I've been putting it on airplane mode, okay? So try turning your phone off and putting it on airplane mode because you can't get the messages coming in and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you just need to do that so you can focus. So if this like social media is coming in between you and loved ones and a significant other, I want you to challenge you to put your phone away on airplane mode when you sleep, and really just kind of focus on what are those things that are most important to you. So dogs and kids and all those types of things are even bigger distractions all the time, so at least you control the ones that you can control, which is social media. And really our society has, I know you all know, like walking around constantly on social media. And sometimes I just look at people, I'm like, do you even like look at the leaves changing or like the flowers, like, or smell flowers when you walk by, or do you even miss all of that? Think about that. When my phone is on airplane mode, I still pick it up all the time too. And like I want to get on it, like, because it's an addiction. Like this is just an addiction, right? So even when it's on airplane mode and I can't see any messages, I'm like, nobody messaged me or whatever, right? So it's great that it's on airplane mode because I'm reminded of like, oh, yep, okay, I got to read my push or I got to read my book, right? Because I'm easily distracted. Again, I told you I'm easily distracted by stuff, okay? So when my phone's on airplane mode, I get to see that little airplane symbol. It's an extra reminder to not get distracted, and it reminds me of what my focus is for that moment. So maybe you have like a don't disturb symbol or something like that. I don't know how that works, but whatever works for you. So if you're connected with putting things on airplane mode, if you're not comfortable with putting things on airplane mode, that's totally okay. Just know that you need to be serious about these things and not let this distract you, okay? These are all things that I started doing the first year of my business, and I realized I was totally overrun by social media and I needed to do something about it. So since then, things have gotten so much better and I've been able to focus and accomplish the things that I want to do to move my business forward. So I love what I do, and I love my like what I figured out for myself, and it doesn't stress me out, and I'm in control of my time, and I hope these tips are helpful for you guys. And if you guys have things that work for you, please share them. Post in the group. I would love to learn from you, and something that you're doing might help someone else, right? I encourage you all to work on your time management as well. So the goal of this business is to become more efficient and more effective in less time so that you have more time to live your life the way that you want to. So thank you all for attending tonight. And I'm really happy to be a part of this team and all of you guys. So thanks for being here.